Hello out there, and today we are going to be talking about these two knives and comparing them to each other. They are the Spyderco Junior model, which is discontinued, and the Spyderco Ouroboros, recently released. Now, I've already done an initial overview and first impressions video for the Ouroboros. I will link to that in the description down below. But today, I really want to focus on comparing these two knives to each other because from the moment this knife, the Ouroboros, was announced almost a year ago, people started making the comparison to the Junior. And for obvious reasons. You can see that there is a lot of similarity just in the way the knives look, but there also is a likeness in the components used and the materials and the construction as well. A lot of that stuff I'm actually not going to touch on. I will give some information in the description down below about all that, like with the specs and everything. But what I really want to focus on today are the differences, because the differences are what shape your preference for one knife over the other. You know, comparing these two knives for me has been very easy and pleasurable because I actually received them in the mail within a week of each other. So I carried them for the first time at around the same time, and I was really able to see what each knive's limitations and strengths were versus each other because it had been so recent since I'd carried the other one. So that really helped shape my opinion. And my opinion, just to jump right into that, is that if you are choosing between these two knives for an EDC, the Junior is definitely your option. I mean, there's no debate there, I don't think. It's a clear choice. This is a wonderful, wonderful EDC knife. Very few limitations, just a ton of strengths. And some of the deficiencies in the Ouroboros were just accentuated by carrying it next to the Junior. All right, the Ouroboros, as I said in my previous video, is a niche knife. It is a knife that if you love this design and you're a collector or you're someone who just wants to carry a knife like this and you're willing to make that kind of investment for it, this is the knife for you. It is not at all a bad knife, but it is a knife that, the word for it, like I said, is niche knife and limitations. It does have limitations in carrying and in daily use. So if you're looking for a 7-day-a-week EDC, I really don't think this is the right knife. I don't think it is. I honestly didn't buy it with that in mind. I bought it to be part of my collection. And if I were looking for an EDC knife for 7 days a week, I would have gravitated more towards this as my choice. Or a number of other things, but between the two of these, the choice is clear. Now, these knives both run in the $150 to $170 range. The Junior on the secondary market at this point, since it is discontinued, but you can find it at that price. And the Ouroboros is in the same price range as well, about $160 to $167 I've seen. So again, your choices are all about what the knife needs to do for you. If the knife needs to be your go-to knife and it's going to be in your pocket 365 days a year, this is an awesome choice. It's great. All right, and let's jump into why. Okay, we've got VG10 blade steel on both of these knives. We know that. They're both made in Seki City, Japan. But what sets the Junior apart from the Ouroboros in the blade is just the shape of it and the lack of this choil finger guard. Okay, looking at them, they do look very different because of that aspect, but when I zoom in a little bit here, you can see, putting the knives on top of each other, that the blade shape is actually really similar. Until we get to this like upsweep on the Ouroboros, the shape is nearly identical. So the basic cutting tasks that you'll be able to do are comparable. But getting into the ergonomics is where it all changes. And that's where the big deficiency for the Ouroboros sets in. And you would think because of the comfort of the handle and because of like how thoughtful, the design is in terms of the choil, that it would be a strength of it, but it's not a strength for all the tasks that you're going to need it to do. The Junior first, you've got this excellent deep finger choil, really nice jimping on top, good traction. And you've got about a half an inch, maybe a little bit less of space between your finger and where the cutting edge starts. So it gives you a good amount of length for the size cutting tasks that you need to do. You know, it's not too big, it's definitely not too small. You also have versatility in your grip, in your carry. So this is the excellent full grip that, by the way, the Ouroboros lacks. But then you can go to 3 fingers, 2 up top, maybe using the spider hole as a grip, and choke up a little bit. Need to choke up more? Great. 2 fingers in the choil, and now you have 3 fingers up top, and this is really comfortable. This grip is extremely comfortable. I have really ugly fingers, but it's really, really a great grip for detailed work. No hot spots at all holding the knife like this. You know, so there's that. So just a lot of versatility for a number of different tasks with the Junior here. The Ouroboros doesn't have that, and that's the problem. Whatever media you're cutting, your finger's right up against it. So this knife is going to be a lot better for detail work than for anything else. All right. I've tried to carry it like this. It doesn't work. It's not comfortable and it's not practical. It just doesn't work. All right. You can choke up, you know, and put other fingers in the choil here, but that just gives you more of what you already had, you know. I mean, you don't really need to do that. I mean, this is, you know, it's just too much in terms of the close whittling type of detail work and not enough for just straight EDC carrying. You know, if you're going to cut boxes with these 2 knives, I mean, you're going to put this one down in about 10 seconds and just focus on this one because the Junior way superior in those kind of tasks. All right. With ergonomics, I don't want to belabor the issue, but I want to do one more small little comparison that might bring the value of the Ouroboros to light and like what it might be good for. And I'm going to bring in a Benchmade, the Hidden Canyon Hunter. This is a fixed blade. And the reason why I'm doing this is because you can see you have a similar type of choil here and a similar type of blade size and shape. And this knife, although very comfortable and useful, is limited in its carry. You know, it is a light, detail work, maybe like small animal skinning kind of knife. And it's not going to be your main blade if you're hunting or camping or just EDC. It should not be like a main EDC. This is a good backup, a really, really good backup small fixed blade. But it's not the only knife you're going to carry. And that's sort of how I feel about the Ouroboros. You know, if this is the only knife you're going to carry, then you're not going to have all the knife you need for all the things that might come, you know, that you might come across over the course of the day. Cut and dry. All right, so those are the ergonomic differences and setbacks that sort of make the Junior rise above the Ouroboros. One other thing I want to touch on is the compression lock. All right, the compression lock here, and I'll try to be as brief as possible with this. The compression lock on the Junior is just really much stronger than the one on the Ouroboros. The Ouroboros has some really nice nested liners that are milled out, keeping the weight really low. All right, and the compression lock, although this knife doesn't free drop, it's very silky smooth, but it's just not as strong of a knife as the Juniors. You know, the lock, it does develop a little bit of side to side over the course of time and just doesn't feel as sturdy and heavy duty as, say, the Junior and maybe some other compression locks. The Junior, on the other hand, it does have full liners. They are not nested. They are milled. 2.85 ounces, so you're not carrying too much extra weight because of that. It's still really light. But the big perk with the locking mechanism is that there is, maybe you can hear it, a strong detent. So that means 2 things. 1, this knife will never free drop. Just won't. Not possible. All right? I mean, this knife was designed to be a safe kind of knife for a child's first knife. Now you can see that with the way that it grips. It doesn't free drop, so nothing can swing and cut your fingers. But overall, the feeling that that gives you is just a really, really nice, strong, sturdy lock. No side to side, no up and down. It's like a vault. This lock can handle a lot of use and a lot of hard use, and it will be dependable. I think that's like the main takeaway for me is, I love the knives that swing down and free drop. It looks cool, feels cool, it's neat. But if you're looking for the EDC, this is the one to go for. All right. A lot of other details, like I said, I'll put in the description down below because there are a lot of other things between these two knives, but those that I just focused on are the real takeaways. There's so many good things to say about the Ouroboros, guys. There really are. But at the end of the day, there's just a superior model out there that is very similar in a lot of other ways that should definitely be the choice if you're looking for a knife like this. The Junior, I can't say enough about. I really can't. I'm not going to do a full review because it would just be me raving about it more and more. It is just a wonderful EDC. Thrilled that I got it. And again, happy with the Ouroboros too, but it's just not on the same level as the Junior. Cool for light EDC tasks, extremely comfortable, but not the level of knife as the Junior. All right, so any questions, comments, complaints, suggestions, as always, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear from you, especially if you have experience with either or both of these knives. But again, thank you for watching, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Take care.